Hello everyone, coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell coming your way from the WWE Thunderdome in Tampa, Florida. The last Thunderdome event of the Thunderdome era before the fans come back for next month for Money in the Bank. But coming up, we have four title matches, including we give recap on Roman Reigns defending his Universal Championship inside Hell in a Cell 2 days before Hell in a Cell comes around. You won't believe that. And we'll have latest hot topic news as a bunch of babies make their debut for AEW and more. And we get to what's going on with AEW being in the red and WWE getting sued. All this and more from the Pro Wrestling Show presents Predict the Outcome for Hell in a Cell. And it starts right now. Hello everyone, welcome to this special edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. Predict the Outcome for WWE Hell in a Cell. I'm your host as always, Kenny Dix here. Everyone, thank you for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show. We got a lot to get into. We'll talk about hot topics later on in the show. WWE getting sued, AEW trying to develop their own video game, and they're still in the red. They're gonna make a profit and make some revenue. We have to wait and see. And rival of new superstar babies. All right, let's get to it. The Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell, predict the outcome. Hell in a Cell comes your way from the WWE Thunderdome in Orlando, Florida. The last Thunderdome pay-per-view from WWE when they get back to the fans in the areas and arenas. All right, let's get started with one match that is going to happen. The WWE SmackDown Women's Championship match is on the line as champion Bianca Belair takes on challenger Bayley. Now we know Bianca Belair been on the roll since WrestleMania, winning the championship from Sasha Banks. Now she entering the feud with Bayley. This past month, she had win against Bayley at WrestleMania Backlash, and due to controversial fashion, Bianca Belair did a little bit cheat to retain her title, but Bayley wants another rematch. Now, all people thought that Bayley and Bianca Belair was going to get themselves involved in a hair versus hair match. Well, we found out, and we just learned this past Friday on SmackDown that Bianca Belair will meet Bayley inside of Hell in a Cell. This will be Bayley's second Hell in a Cell, but this will be Bianca's first in her second title defense against Bayley for the SmackDown Women's title in the demonic Hell in a Cell. Do Bianca Belair has what it takes to defeat Bayley? Bayley has experience when she went against Sasha Banks in Hell in a Cell last October, as I recall. Now these two women gonna clash for the women's title on SmackDown. Who's gonna emerge victorious? Now we know Bayley's been playing psychological mind games with Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair has done the same. When Bayley set got destroyed by Cesaro, when Bayley had Seth Rollins as her guest. Now the tables are turned. This past week on SmackDown, Bianca Belair wanted to call out Bayley. Bayley came out of nowhere, attacked Bianca Belair, and led to Bianca Belair being laid motionless as Bayley raised up the SmackDown Women's title and showed picture frame that she could be the next SmackDown Women's champion for a third time. Look for Bianca Belair to emerge victorious. Bianca Belair gonna get that highly anticipated rematch that we all been waiting for. Her against Sasha Banks at SummerSlam. When it's gonna happen, we just hope and see. I'm gonna be making a point, but I see Bianca Belair retaining her SmackDown Women's title over Bayley. Speaking of another match that we just learned, Alexa Bliss goes one-on-one against Shayna Baszler. Yes, Alexa Bliss and Shayna Baszler. Now, this all started when Shayna Baszler started blaming Alexa Bliss for all the troubles, the mishaps, the mistakes. So, like, Shayna Baszler no longer tag team champion. Reginald get involved. She can't focus. She thinks Alexa Bliss and her dog Lily are distraction. Shayna Baszler paid a visit to Alexa Playground. Alexa Bliss wasn't quite for sure what's going on. Shayna Baszler made herself a target and made herself an enemy. Shayna Baszler decided to take matters in her own hand and put herself in the playground, and she stomped and messed up Lily and thought Lily was just a plain old doll. Now the demon possessed doll. Shayna Baszler got mistaken. Lily terrorized Shayna Baszler, and that was the end of it. I thought that Shayna Baszler got possessed by Lily and was going to turn in essence of Lily. Well, Nia Jax informed Alexa Bliss that Shayna's still shaking and still not all there put together, but Shayna Baszler will be at Hell in a Cell to go against Alexa Bliss, and we'll have to see Shayna Baszler if she's gonna be herself or will she be a new version of we never seen before. So look for Alexa Bliss winning the match over Shayna Baszler with the help of Lily again. Speaking of that, more personal rivalry, more heated rivalries to come as Cesaro meets Seth Rollins one-on-one. Now, we know they had that historic WrestleMania match where Cesaro won at WrestleMania, his first singles match, and Seth Rollins thought that was a fluke because he thought Cesaro did it because it was inclement weather. Well, Seth Rollins got proved again by attacking Cesaro week after week. Cesaro trying to get the best of him. Now, WrestleMania Backlash, Cesaro, Seth Rollins was a no disqualification. So now it's a rubber match. Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. In my opinion, Seth Rollins needs this win because Cesaro has been embarrassing him as of late. And Seth Rollins needs to get the monkey off his back. That is Seth Rollins needs to get the monkey off his back. Us for Cesaro. So he can get a one-up win over him. It's been that. So look for Seth Rollins to win this match over Cesaro. All right. That is the first half. The first half of the Hell in a Cell. We'll have the second half coming up later on. When we return, we're going to talk about Hot Topic, the latest news on WWE being sued by stockholders. AEW's in the red because they're trying to develop that video game. All this and more on the Pro Wrestling Show. Return after this. Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm here. This is your host, Kendrick Diggs here. This is a Pro Wrestling Show, special edition of Pro Wrestling Show, where you do Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell. We'll have the second half later on in the show. But first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is king. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show. All right. Let's get to Wrestling Hot Topics. Wrestling Hot Topics this week. All right. Congratulations in order to Renee Young and her husband, Jon Moxley, as they welcome a baby girl. I forgot her name, but they welcome a baby girl. And also another couple in wrestling. AEW EVP Cody Rhodes and Chief Brand Officer Brandy Rhodes welcome their baby girl, Liberty Rose. And Moxley and Renee Young had Nora. So congratulations and welcoming baby girls Nora and Liberty Rose. Liberty Iris. I meant to say Liberty Iris. So congratulations. And they in the AEW family, the AEW babies. Okay. Speaking of that, WWE being sued by their own investors. WWE being sued, and in the suit, WWE The investors sued Mr. McMahon, Stephanie, and Triple H, and former presidents Michelle Wilson and George Barrios in lawsuits claiming about Saudi Arabia money, claiming about WWE's trying to hide information. So WWE got the long way to go to just put that out there on what's going on with what they're doing. So there you go. Speaking of that, Samoa Joe, he returned. Samoa Joe being fired, being let go in the April budget cuts, returned. He came back for NXT, and they said Triple H was a proponent of bringing him back. Triple H making the moves, making power moves to bring Samoa Joe back. Samoa Joe now part of the NXT brand as William Regal's the GM of his Force. And so Samoa Joe was supposed to be the GM, but Samoa Joe declined, and he wanted to be the enforcer, the Lady Ground rules. But the only thing about it, Joe cannot be touched. Joe can't touch Superstar unless he's provoked. And Samoa Joe is happily obliging to that right now, not being provoked at the moment with a lot of people. And even teasing that he could go against Karrion Kross down the road. We'll let us see on that. Also, AEW did an article with Forbes magazine. Tony Khan was featured. AEW announcing that they're going to be doing New York City, the Arthur Ashe Stadium in September. So AEW fans rejoice for that. And AEW biggest test is going to the New York market. Can they be big or sell out that crowd during that tennis? We just have to wait and see on that. AEW trying to put their foot in New York City. Also, AEW trying to develop their video game. They're spending 8 figures on a video game, at least $10 million to perfect and craft and get the video game up in speed. So we have to see on that. Will AEW be in the red for not too long after this video game release as an investment? We just have to wait and see and find out. Speaking of that, Roman Reigns is in the works of him turning babyface. Now, we don't know yet, but that's the plan going forward, long-term plan, getting him healed and then getting him loved again so he can just stay being WWE's face of WWE. But Roman sent a message to former faces of WWE, John Cena and The Rock, that they think about coming back to WWE, they better think twice. So Roman Reigns sending that stern message that he don't care if you're The Rock or John Cena, your Hollywood Ace listers, you stay where you at. So there you go. Speaking of another WWE lister, Becky Lynch has been training, has been prepping for a return to the ring. They're seeing people spotting her in a performance center. So Becky Lynch coming back, and a lot of people are pointing at her coming at SummerSlam, the biggest party of this summer, making an appearance at SummerSlam to make a statement. So we'll see with that. Speaking of Becky's fiance, Seth Rollins. So Rollins decided to go to a lemonade stand and buy some lemonade. So Seth Rollins doing a normal civilian, just buying lemonade from a girl so she can raise money to get an iPhone. That's sweet and nice. So there you go. All right, that ends Hot Topics. All right, let's move over to the second half. The second half of Hot Topics. And on the second half of Hot Topics, man, let's get you up to speed on what's going on. The Hell in a Cell match, Roman Reigns was supposed to defend his Universal Championship against Rey Mysterio. Well, that got pushed up on SmackDown for network TV. Roman Reigns went against Rey Mysterio, and we know it was personal. It was inside the demonic Hell in a Cell that gave folks what they wanted to see. And I think, to me, it was too quick, too fast, too soon. You promoted it for the pay-per-view, and now you're giving away on free network TV. Which, you can get the most views and stuff, but in the same token, it's like, come on. Roman won, which I predicted, which I was going to say on here, but felt like they could have prolonged it for another 2 days to give that effect. But I don't know if Roman wanted to spend time with his kids or Ray wanted to spend time. But it was just, I guess they saying they're gonna save that for another attraction. Like Roman gonna be when the live crowd come back. But no, how they go. But it was a decent match, but I just felt like they could have prolonged it a little bit. But Roman Reigns won, retained his Universal title as we all expected. That was just like a fast, short-lived feud to me. But you know how they go. Speaking of SmackDown, another personal match on SmackDown. There's another grudge match. As Kevin Owens goes one-on-one against Sami Zayn. Now we know Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were the best of friends. Now they're the worst of enemies. But this has to end. So Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn will go one-on-one this week. I guess this all started at WrestleMania too. All these matches, these all have a conclusion. But look for Sami Zayn to win over Roman, win over Kevin Owens in that match. Also, plus the WWE Raw Women's title is on the line as champion Rhea Ripley defends her championship against Charlotte Flair. Now we know Rhea and Charlotte do not like each other. They're like oil and water. They do not cross. But these two women hate each other guts. That this past week on Raw, it was like a slugfest. Both women trying to knock each other out since, to the point of no degree. Well, Rhea and Charlotte want to battle it out. They're going to battle it out for the one Raw Women's title. Like I said, Rhea needs this. I thought Charlotte was going to win over Rhea in that triple threat match, but that didn't turn out to be the case. So I'm looking at it like, look for Charlotte to win the Raw Women's title and become Raw Women's champion over Rhea. And Rhea will chase her going forward. So we'll see on that. But I'll look for Charlotte on that. And finally, the main event, WWE title is on the line. Hell in a Cell, WWE Hell in a Cell title match. Bobby Lashley, the champion, defends his gold against Drew McIntyre. Now we know he had that match at WrestleMania. I thought Drew's gonna win. Drew didn't win, Bobby won. Then last month, WrestleMania Backlash, Braun Strowman got in the middle of it. Braun got pinned. And Bobby still retained. Now it's last chance for Drew McIntyre. If Drew doesn't win, he won't get a WWE title match while Bobby Lashley is still the champion. So it's do or die for Drew McIntyre. And the way for Drew McIntyre to get the championship, he's going to have to rely on his resources like he did before. He's been a Hell in a Cell match over Randy Orton. And he won, but this time it's different. Look, I think Randy Orton beat him in Hell in a Cell. So we'll have to see on that. So look for Drew, hopefully, to win the WWE title over Bobby Lashley because this is do or die for him. Doesn't do it, this is it. So look for Drew to finally win the WWE title. So we'll have to see on that. All right, y'all. Thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I've been your host, Kendrick Dix, for Predict the Outcome. We'll see you next time for another edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. See you later.